Right now, you are lying to someone. Your face just told them the truth anyway. You can fake a laugh, you can fake a cry, you cannot fake this. Every other expression on your face you can choose. This one chooses you. Red in the face since the Ice Age. That feeling never really goes away. So today we ask the obvious question: why does this even happen to us? Not metaphorically red, not embarrassed red. We mean the actual biology. Blood vessels in your face widening on command from a feeling, not an injury. That is strange enough on its own, but here is the part that should bother you. No other animal on Earth does this. Not one. You are the only blusher alive. Chimpanzees don't blush. Gorillas don't blush. It is a strictly human glitch. So this is not some leftover animal reflex. This was built specifically for us. One man became obsessed with this exact question a century and a half ago. Charles Darwin. Yes, that Darwin. He called blushing the most human expression. In 1872, he wrote an entire book chapter just on this. He called it, quote, the most peculiar and most human of all expressions. He sent letters across the world asking people to describe blushing in other cultures. The answer came back the same everywhere. Every population blushes, every single one. That told him something important. This wasn't learned, it was built in. Even people born blind who have never seen a blush still blush themselves. That single fact rules out imitation. You did not learn this from watching others. So if it isn't learned, and every human does it, it is wired in by evolution, which raises the real question. What could possibly be worth advertising your own embarrassment? Evolution does not usually keep things that make us look weak. This should have vanished. But it didn't vanish. It got sharper. Let's look at what is actually happening in your skin. It starts in a part of your brain you don't get to vote on. The amygdala. It registers social threat, being watched, being judged, faster than you can think about it. It fires a signal down through your nervous system before your conscious mind even catches up. That signal hits a specific set of nerves called the sympathetic nervous system, the same system that speeds your heart in danger. Blushing hijacks your fight or flight wiring, except instead of preparing your legs to run, it floods blood vessels in your face. The vessels in your cheeks are unusually close to the surface. That is not an accident. They are also unusually sensitive to a specific chemical, adrenaline, doing something odd here. Everywhere else in your body, adrenaline shrinks blood vessels. In your face, it does the opposite. Researchers found facial skin has a distinct type of receptor, beta receptors, densely packed in the cheeks. This is why you cannot blush on command, and you cannot stop it by trying. The system runs on the autonomic nervous system, the part of you that is not up for debate. Same system that controls your heartbeat, your digestion, your pupils, not exactly things you steer. Steering it anyway seems like a fine idea. Watch that fail spectacularly. You can hold your breath. You can slow your heartbeat with training. You cannot suppress a blush. This is what scientists mean when they call it an honest signal. It cannot be faked. In biology, an honest signal is a costly one, a signal a cheetah cannot easily produce. A peacock's tail is expensive and hard to fake. Your blush works the same way, socially. Here is the theory researchers actually propose. Blushing evolved to prove you care what others think. And caring what others think, it turns out, was extremely useful for group survival. Let's go back further to understand why this mattered so much to our ancestors. Early humans did not survive alone. A lone human against the world simply did not last. Survival depended entirely on the group. Being trusted by that group was not optional. If you broke a rule, stole food, or betrayed someone, the group needed to know. Not to punish endlessly. To know who could be trusted back into the circle. This is where the blush earns its keep. It is a built-in confession you cannot suppress. Someone who blushes when caught is telling the group, without words, "I know I did wrong." That is valuable information. It tells the group, this one still cares about the rules. Compare that to someone who breaks a rule and shows nothing at all. No flush, no flicker. That absence of a blush is its own kind of information, and it is not reassuring. Groups that could read this signal accurately made better decisions about who to trust. And individuals who blushed honestly got reintegrated faster after a mistake. That mattered for survival. Being cast out of the group, alone on the open plain, was often a death sentence. So a reflex that helped you get back in favor fast was not a weakness, it was armor. This idea has a name in evolutionary biology, the remedial signal hypothesis. Researcher Matthew Feinberg at the University of Toronto has run studies on exactly this. In his research, people who blushed after a social mistake were rated as more trustworthy, even though, logically, they had done the exact same embarrassing thing as everyone else. The blush itself changed how forgivable the mistake seemed. That is a strange kind of power. It works because a blush cannot be planned, which is exactly why people trust it. Time to test this theory. Badly. On purpose. Watch what happens when he fakes total confidence instead, with no blush at all. The confident version gets trusted less. The reflex he cannot control saves him. This is what Darwin sensed, but could not fully prove in his time. Modern data backs it up. So blushing is not embarrassment gone wrong. It is a social contract written in blood vessels. But this raises the next obvious question: why does it only happen on your face? You have blood vessels everywhere. Your whole body could theoretically flush red, but it doesn't. The blush is almost always concentrated in your face, ears, and neck. That is not a coincidence. That is the most visible, most exposed part of you. A signal that no one can see does nothing for you socially. The location is the function. The face is also, for humans, uniquely bare compared to other primates. That matters too. Most primates are covered in hair that hides skin changes. Humans lost most of that hair. Losing body hair exposed our skin to the world. It also exposed our internal states. Some researchers think this was not an accident either. Bare, readable skin may have been selected for. A face that shows your internal state honestly is useful if honesty helps the group survive. It becomes a problem, though, the moment cheaters exist in that same group. If a blush can be faked, the whole system collapses. So evolution made faking nearly impossible. That is the elegant part. The involuntary nature is not a design flaw. It is the entire design. A signal you can fake is worthless. A signal you cannot fake is priceless, socially speaking. One more attempt at faking a blush for this job interview, and that's a fail again. You simply cannot summon it from nothing. It only comes from the real feeling underneath. So, what exactly triggers it? Not just embarrassment. The list is more specific than you think. The common thread across every trigger is not embarrassment itself. It is exposure. Being seen, being evaluated, being the center of unwanted attention. That is the real trigger. Which is why you can blush from a compliment just as easily as from an insult. Both situations put you suddenly, sharply, at the center of someone else's attention. This is why public speaking triggers it so reliably. It is the maximum exposure scenario. Your ancestors rarely stood before a room of strangers. Your body still reacts like they might. The mechanism built for a small tribal group did not update for stadiums and cameras. That mismatch is the whole story of being modern and human. Old wiring, new world. You will see that mismatch everywhere once we start looking at modern blushing triggers. And now the phone finds his face. This does not go well at all. A single notification can trigger the exact same reflex your ancestors used around a fire. Being tagged in an unflattering photo, being called out in a group chat. Same ancient circuitry. Your amygdala cannot tell the difference between a tribe of 30 and the entire internet. As far as your body is concerned, the whole world is still just one small watching tribe. So when a stranger's comment lands wrong online, you flush like it's the whole cave watching. 10,000 strangers, one bad comment, and your ancient tribal alarm still fires. This is not a flaw in you. It is a design limit nobody updated. Your face turns red for the same reason your ancestors' face turned red. Being caught mattered more than being right. That math has not changed. A blush is a confession you did not agree to make. You cannot fake it either. That is the part that should bother you. Try to blush on command right now? Go on. You cannot do it. That is exactly why it works as a signal. Nobody can counterfeit it. A liar can control his words. He cannot control his capillaries. Darwin himself called blushing the most peculiar and most human of all expressions. He wrote an entire chapter on it. He thought it explained something enormous. He was right. Blushing only makes sense if you evolved to care what others think. Every social animal watches. Only we turn red about being watched. That is the trade you made for a bigger brain and a bigger tribe. You got language, cooperation, and cities. You also got this involuntary red flag. Now, think about how often you actually blush in one ordinary week. More than you noticed. Most blushes are small and pass in seconds. You register them as a flicker of heat. Everyone else registers them as data, which means you have been broadcasting your inner state your entire life without consent. Here is the part that should really annoy you. It starts before you can even talk. Babies as young as 4 months show the skin response before they have any sense of self. The self-conscious part comes later, around age 2, when the mirror starts to sting. That is the exact moment a toddler learns it has an audience at all. Once you know you are watched, you can never fully unknow it again. So the blush is not just a reaction, it is proof you have a self at all. No self-awareness, no blush. That is why dogs do not do this. You do. Even chimpanzees, close as they are, do not turn red from embarrassment. As far as we can tell, this reaction belongs to us and almost nobody else. So it is not an embarrassing glitch, it is closer to a species-defining trait. Picture the alternative. A version of you that felt zero shame, ever. That version does not get invited back to the fire, or the meeting, or anywhere. Shame is expensive to feel, but shamelessness was more expensive to be around. Groups without the reflex could not trust their own members to self-correct. So the blushers stuck around, bred, and passed the wiring straight down to you. Which means every time your face burns, it is doing exactly the job it was kept for. It is not betraying you, it is the oldest peacekeeper you have. So next time you feel it rise, notice what actually triggered it. Not danger, not pain, just the sense that someone, somewhere, is judging. That is a very old fear wearing a very modern costume. You are not overreacting to a text message. Your amygdala is under updating. There is no committee of 30 deciding your fate. There is a phone. But your body has not been briefed on that distinction, and it never will be. So the discomfort is real. The scale of the audience, almost always, is not. Knowing that will not stop the blush. Nothing stops the blush. That is the point. But it can change what you do with the 10 seconds after it happens. You do not have to apologize 7 times or vanish from the room. You can just let your face do its ancient job and keep talking anyway. That, it turns out, is what the reflex was built to let you do. Not to punish you, to repair the thread between you and the group. A blush says, I know I slipped and I still value being here with you. That message, without a single word, is what kept small groups from splintering. It still keeps modern groups from splintering, one awkward apology at a time. So the next time your face burns in a meeting, that is not weakness. That is millions of years of social machinery quietly doing exactly its job. You did not choose it. You could not opt out of it if you tried. And that is the strange comfort in all of this. It was never a personal failing. It is a shared inheritance running under the skin of every single person watching this. Every red face in every room on Earth is running the same old code. One tribe, 30 faces, and a reflex that never got the memo it grew. So the next time you feel your face go hot, do not fight it. Just notice it, name it, and let it finish doing the job it was built for. You are not malfunctioning. You are just an ape who never stopped needing the tribe. And honestly, given the alternative, that is not a bad thing to still be. If your face just did something interesting reading this, tell me about it below.